Sira tulowooze ku weema nazo ezitali zaffe oba olyawo fune ezaffe. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. My name is HAJAT HAJJARA NALUBEGA. I work with the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. I serve as the Principal Culture Officer in the Department of Culture and Family Affairs. I am here to represent the Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that you are all aware that we have just had a recent reshuffle. One of you knew Honorable Peace Regis Mutuzo, who did not come back, but now we have a new Minister of State for Gender and Culture Affairs, who is Honorable Mary Kutesa Kamuli. She sends her apologies. She's caught up in other official duties. And I will deliver her message. But before I deliver her message, I want to thank Senson Creative Hub for bringing us together and making us recognize the role of Olubugo. As a department, we are so excited about all these efforts. We have been working closely with UNESCO to ensure that we popularize all the elements. Uganda has about 5 cultural elements, let me mention them, that have been inscribed. Mr. Balimunsi, you asked me to talk about inscription, so let me just use a minute to talk about that inscription before I deliver the minister's message. That Uganda has about 5 or 6 elements that we have inscribed, and inscription means that you are identifying these cultural elements that are very precious to the community. Government is working closely with those communities to ensure that we popularize the use of those elements so that they do not disappear or get extinct. So one of the first elements that we have was Olubugo, and I was deep in my heart saying that from the time UNESCO inscribed Olubugo, the barkcloth making, actually we inscribed the skill, not the Lubugo itself, but the skill of making Lubugo. Since its inscription, I know that it has really moved a long way, and it's time we move this element from the urgent list for safeguarding, probably to another list, the representative list, or even the good practice list, because I know that it has really graduated, and we give all this, we attribute all this to the different practitioners, including Senson and others. Thank you very much, Senson, and the rest of the practitioners who have made this effort to ensure that barkcloth shines the world over. So I said we had barkcloth. We also have other cultural elements like the Mpako naming ceremony found in Western Uganda. We have the male cleansing ceremony among the Langis and other people of northern Uganda. We have the Madibo Laya. We have the Bigwala music dance and the Bigwala trumpet. We also have the Kogere oral ceremonies, among other elements. But those are about 5 or 6 elements that the country has inscribed. And usually we are supposed to report after 4 years on how such elements are performing in this country. And this and other efforts in the academia, in the education institutions, in the communities, and among other practitioners give us a mileage, and they make us build hope that these elements are really gaining shape among the communities and among the practitioners, and we hope to report better. But also without UNESCO, I was actually talking to the stakeholders who were having one time preparing these country reports and telling them that we do not have to wait for UNESCO to come and do our own. If we treasure an element in our community, let us come out clearly and teach the young ones, because teaching the young ones is actually one of the most vibrant strategy or way through which we can sustain and transmit some of these practices that we love and treasure so much as communities. So culture is ours. We do not have to wait for UNESCO, British Council, and the rest of the development partners to come and transmit our culture for us and love it for us and practice it for us, but rather the effort should be ours. And those ones, when they come, we welcome the effort because then they will be complimenting on what we are doing. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, allow me deliver the message of the Minister. The Katikkiro of Buganda, here represented, the royal representatives and distinguished cultural leaders, excellencies, members of the diplomatic corps present, senior government officials, the leadership of the visionaries of Senson Art Space and the Barkcloth Center, esteemed members of the academia, researchers and educators, key stakeholders in tourism, hospitality and trade, our master artisans, designers, visual artists, and young creatives, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is a profound honor and privilege to join you today on this landmark occasion that marks a historic milestone in Uganda's cultural journey as we gather here at Senson Art Space to officially launch the Barkcloth Center shop and training hub. We are not merely opening a physical facility, but opening a door to a future where Uganda's ancient traditions seamlessly integrate with contemporary innovation to drive economic prosperity, social empowerment, and national pride. On behalf of the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, and the Government of Uganda, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the founders, cultural custodians, development partners, and creatives at Senson, whose tireless efforts have brought this visionary project to bear fruits. The Barkcloth Olugo is soul of our nation. Recognized by UNESCO in 2005 as a masterpiece of the oral and intangible cultural heritage of humanity, Barkcloth is one of humanity's oldest organic textiles. For centuries, the painstaking art of harvesting and stripping the barkcloth from the mutuba tree and beating it into a rich colored cloth has been an admirable skill passed down through generations. It has clothed our royals and other communities at ceremonies and wrapped our stories, just like everyone has said here. However, culture cannot remain locked in a museum. Heritage must live, breathe, and nourish the people who preserve it. The Barkcloth Center embodies this principle by elevating Olubugo from a symbol of tradition into a dynamic modern resource for art, fashion, interior design, research, and ecotourism. The establishment of this multidisciplinary center addresses the crucial imperative transforming cultural heritage into sustainable economic livelihoods. The Barkcloth Center will serve as a collaborative ecosystem, connecting every tier of the creative value chain. These include probably rural artisans, farmers, the youth and female creatives, designers and global markets, academia and innovation, among others. The government of Uganda recognizes the creative economy as a vital engine for economic growth, youth employment, and socioeconomic transformation. The ministry therefore remains committed to supporting initiatives that safeguard our traditional knowledge systems while creating structured frameworks for intellectual property protection, market access, and capacity building. The Barkcloth Center is a perfect example of public-private community synergy, demonstrating how cultural preservation can yield tangible economic dividends. As I conclude, allow me to call upon our tourist stakeholders, international partners, and private sector leaders to actively integrate Barkcloth design and artisanal products into sectors like hotel developments, diplomatic gifts, corporate interiors, and international expositions. To our young artists present, designers and artisans gathered here, this center is your playground, your studio, and your springboards. Take our indigenous materials, experiment boldly, and show the world the unmatched brilliance of Uganda's creative genius. As we celebrate this monumental launch, let me reaffirm our commitment to honoring our roots while building sustainable futures. I thank you all. May God bless you, and I say this for God and my country.
Thank you so much. The Central Government